Hello, Mark Sabatella here, and I would like to thank you for checking out my project of creating a community-based recording of We Gather Together. So in my previous video, I showed you how to access the sheet music for my arrangement, and that's the arrangement we're going to be working from here. And I showed you how to access the sheet music and how you can kind of use it to learn a part, to choose a part of the arrangement to work on. And now I want to show you how to actually record your part. And we're going to use a website called BandLab, which if you've used before, great. If you haven't, it's free. You'll have to create an account there to use it, but it's an online digital audio workstation. It lets you record audio without having to install software on your computer, without having to upload files or anything like that. It just allows for collaborative editing, and it's really quite nice. So this is my article on the project, and hopefully you've already seen the article, and if you're watching this video, hopefully in the comment below where you're seeing the video, you'll see the link to this article, or maybe you're seeing a link to the project itself. In any case, here within the article, project on BandLab. That is what you want to click. So I will click project on BandLab. And when I go there, you're going to see what it looks like if you're logged in. And if you're not logged in, again, you'll have to create an account first. But this is the project as it is. And in BandLab, this button here, Open in Mix Editor, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to edit the project. And I just clicked it. And I need to clarify that when we're editing this project, BandLab is actually creating a separate, what they call a revision. Every time someone edits the project, it creates a separate revision. And so all the previous work that anyone else has added to the project is safe. You never have to worry about accidentally recording over what someone else did, accidentally deleting what they did, or messing things up in any way. Nothing you do will ever mess up anyone else's revisions. Or if you do multiple revisions, one revision will never mess up a previous revision. BandLab is very safe to use in that regard. So we are here in BandLab now, and if you've ever used any audio editing software, hopefully a lot of this seems familiar, and if not, don't worry, it's pretty straightforward. So these horizontal colored bars here represent the different tracks, and I have them labeled MIDI soprano 1, MIDI soprano 2, MIDI alto, etc. This is the MIDI the computer synthesized playback generated by MuseScore that I have loaded into BandLab. And so when I press the play button, that's what we're actually going to be hearing. And here you can see, well, by the way, spacebar is what I'm pressing to start and stop playback. That's common to a lot of audio software. The soprano 2, you can kind of see based on this. This is displaying something in kind of a piano roll type of format. So when I reach this point here, you'll hear that's where the soprano 2 comes in. Right? What I want to do is I'm going to show you how to record, and I'm going to record my own version of the alto part here. So I'm going to keep playing it, and then we'll hear that. Here we go. So if I want to hear just that part, I can hit the solo button, the S button, and that'll play just the alto part there. All right, I'll unsolo that. I can also, I'm going to flip back, I'm going to use Alt-Tab on my computer to flip over to MuseScore because I have it loaded in MuseScore already, and there I can find that spot, and it's right here. And I can look at the sheet music, look at the words. Cease from distressing. 4 bars. That's all I'm going to do right now. You can do as much or as little as you want when you do this. I'm just going to do those 4 bars. So I'll come back over here. And first of all, I'm wearing headphones right now. It is crucial that you wear headphones while you're recording, because otherwise your microphone is going to pick up the sound of your speakers playing back the other tracks, and we don't want that. We want your microphone to pick up your voice and your voice only. Now, what you hear through the headphones is up to you. I want to hear the guitar, bass, and drums, so I'm going to leave those there, but I don't want to hear the soprano. I don't want to hear either the sopranos, so I'm going to mute those. Because I'm not a singer, I'm going to listen to the alto, and I think a lot of singers probably would also. I'm going to listen to the MIDI alto, so all I really have to do is sing along with it. It's going to help me stay on pitch. If you're a really good singer, maybe you find that distracting and you might want to actually mute the MIDI version of your own part, and that's fine too. You do whatever works for you. I'm going to mute the MIDI sopranos, leave the MIDI alto going, and then I scroll down. These are now the audio tracks. This is what I'm going to record. I'm going to record the alto part here. And this here is a slider to set the input level. And actually, it doesn't set the input level as much as it sets the output level. You'll have to set the input level with your own computer. Everyone's microphone setup, everything is going to be different. If you're using the built-in microphone on your computer, hopefully you can find the controls where you can test the input level to get it working. I will also say under settings here is a latency test option. And because I've got the headphones in, that's not really going to work, and it doesn't really matter. But what the latency test does is it'll play back a sound through the speakers, let the microphone pick it up, and it will figure out how much of a delay there is based on the fact that this is all going through the internet and all. And it'll factor that in when it records, which is great, but it's okay if you don't run that because we can always fix it later. So I'm not going to bother with the latency test. I'm just going to move this slider to somewhere, I'm just going to put it to 0 actually. I think I had previously turned it down. I had turned it down because when I recorded it was too loud, and when I played it back, I turned it down. So when you load this, you're going to be loading the most recent revision, and so you're going to see other people's tracks perhaps. And then you can just delete them if you want. You can find empty spaces, places where they left blank to do your own version. Totally up to you. But I'm just going to record that one little section. So it was right here. It was right where the alto came in. So I'm going to move the playhead there by clicking in this sort of empty area up here below the measure numbers. And I'm just going to set it somewhere right before the alto comes in. And now I'm going to press the record button. And when I press the record button, it's going to play back like the last couple of measures, and then start recording. And then I'm going to sing when it's my turn to sing. So I want to look at my part again. Ah, cease from distressing. Got it. Here we go. I'm going to press record. Make sure I've got alto part. I got to make sure I've selected my track. I have. Alto is selected. So here we go. Okay. Ah, cease from distressing. That's all there is to it. I recorded my part, and let's listen to it actually and see what it sounds like. I think what you'll hear that it's like a half a second or some fraction of a second late, but let's listen to it. Oh, actually, at this point now, I want to mute the MIDI version, unmute the sopranos, because I want to hear how my part fits with theirs. That's also how I'll know if my volume is right. Can you tell that I'm late? So all I got to do is just drag this a little bit earlier. You don't have to stress about that. I can fix it, but just for your own benefit, if you want to like listen to yourself and hear how it fits together, that's how you can just drag it a little earlier. Ah, cease from distressing. There you go. That's all there is to it. you can then, if you want to do more, you can record. Like I only recorded 4 measures, right? I could have, you record 8 measures, record a whole verse, record the whole thing if you want. I really leave it up to you. You can record it in little sections. You can really, it's collaborative. I want you to do what feels good to you, and there's all sorts of editing that you can do, like my this little arrow thing down in the lower corner lets me just shrink that down to cut out, because it was recording before I started singing, and so it could hear me breathe, and it heard me breathing at the end, so I can just drag that little icon to kind of shorten that thing so it's just the part where I'm actually singing. Yeah, that sounds great. So that's all I'm looking for. I'm just looking for people to come in and record little sections of it, and then by the time we're done, hopefully, we have enough people that I can assemble a completed version of the entire arrangement. When you're done, just hit the save button. If you hit there's save and there's publish. Save makes it private, meaning only other people who are viewing the project can see it. Publish will make it public to more people. And we actually, the whole point of this is to be somewhat public. So by all means, hit publish if you want, or just hit save. I don't fully understand all the intricacies of how BandLab works, and you don't have to either. If you accidentally exit without saving, though, it will tell you. So you have to hit something. If you just like X out of the tab right now, it won't have saved it. That will be unfortunate. Don't do that. Hit save. So it is now saved. It says revision saved. And now when I hit exit, it'll exit. If I hadn't saved it, it would have told me, hey, you haven't saved it. But when I hit exit now, it will gladly exit it. And it has now created a new revision that has that version in it. So the next person who edits this is going to find my version already there, which they can then delete or not. Doesn't really matter. So that gives you an idea of how to go about doing this, and I am really looking forward to hearing your contribution, because that is how we're going to make this whole thing together, by getting a lot of people to each record some music. And I would love it if there's people who really have the confidence to just record an entire verse or even the entire part. That'd be great. And if you're just feeling like doing 4 measures like I did, that's fantastic too. Whatever works for you works for me. Leave it up to me to try to put it all together later. And again, you can't possibly mess up anything anyone else did, so feel free to delete stuff, because you will have your own revision, and you can't possibly delete anyone else's revision. It won't happen. So I really look forward to hearing your contributions and hearing the completed project when we have a whole community-based recording of We Gather Together.